Dear friends, I am CA Vijay Kumar A here. Today I will be explaining a new export receivable financing model called non-recourse export factoring. As the name suggests, this is a non-recourse model and which is unsecured in nature. Let us take a small example. Suppose A Private Limited of Cochin is an exporter of frozen shrimp. Then B of Dubai is an importer, buyer of frozen shrimp. The third party in the transaction would be the factorer or funder. And the fourth party would be the credit insurance company, which does due diligence on the credit of the buyer, D of Dubai. As the model suggests, A Private Limited of Cochin receives a purchase order from D of Dubai for $125,000 of frozen shrimp for a credit period of 60 days. As the name suggests, this transaction is not backed by any LC or any other documents for support of this export transaction. It is totally unsecured in nature and therefore it is called open credit system of exports. That is, there is no LC backed document. Now, A Private Limited, on receipt of this purchase order from D of Dubai, approaches the factorer who has a presence in India by way of a representative office for funding of this invoice of $125,000 for a usance period of 60 days. The factorer, on receipt of this application from A Private Limited of Cochin, gives the proposal to the credit insurance company for undertaking a due diligence on D of Dubai. And suppose after due diligence, D of Dubai is given a revolving credit of $300,000 by the insurance company. On receipt of the $300,000 worth of revolving credit, A intimates the same by way of a term sheet to the factorer intimates to A of Cochin that through a term sheet that $300,000 worth of material can be exported to D of Dubai in a year. On receipt of this intimation, the term sheet, A then proceeds to sign the term sheet, which is then a binding contract between A Private Limited and the factorer. After this due process is done, when A Private Limited exports one container of $125,000 of shrimp to D of Dubai and the bill of lading is generated. Bill of lading, packing, credit and country of origin documents are generated. These documents are taken over by the factorer instead of submitting the same to the bank as is usually done. After this process, the very next moment, the factorer credits 85% of the invoice value of $125,000, that is coming to $106,250. That is $106,250 to the credit of A's Private Limited bank account only in India. It is very important that the proceeds of this transaction are credited only to the bank account, said designated bank account of A Private Limited in India. Then there is an assignment clause which is taken at the time of the agreement by the factorer from D, which says that on the due date, that is on the due date of 60th day, D will then pay the full $125,000 to the factorer's account overseas. That is, very specifically, this account is not in India. it is an overseas account. Then on receipt of this $125,000, the factorer then proceeds to transfer $125,000 less advance already paid, 106,250, $18,750, less assume an interest of 10% per annum for 60 days, which comes to around $308, which is deducted by the factorer, and the balance is transferred to the credit of A Private Limited's bank account in India. This is how this export factoring module works, which is in a very nascent stage but has huge potential for the Indian exporter, so that they need not give any collaterals to the banks to avail export funding. Thank you, dear friends.